I want to go to Liverpool though. How is Klopp going to deal with this? How is Liverpool holding up? Let's say VVD doesn't come back well and strong.
Yeah.
Hypothetical. Where does Liverpool, because they did not have a plan B, and that was kind of shocking last year. They had no plan B. This thing came out of nowhere and they just sort of dealt with it as best they could. They finished 5 points under United.
Yeah.
I think their plan B, C, D, and E all ended up on the injury table. I think that was the
That's
problem.
fair too. That's a very fair point too.
Like it was. I mean, from a Liverpool perspective, it was horrifying, and from everyone else's perspective, if you were actually a real fan, it's still horrifying. Kind of funny, but like in a horrifying way. Like you don't never want to see. Really, you don't want to see players get injured. Not really. Not like
Yeah.
major injuries, and
Never,
that
never,
happened
never, never. These
never,
are
never.
never. They're
But
breadwinners. They're
from the
people.
meltdown perspective, it's great. But then when you actually look at Joe Gomez with a serious injury, when you look at Van Dijk's injury, like you never ever want to see that. So I think Klopp did the best of what he could in a really bad situation. But I don't think you can really say when you end up with James Milner in the defense, you know you really kind of have a problem. But that's how bad it got.
Yeah, look, for me, I think Jurgen Klopp had a plan B. That was Joe Gomez playing at left center back and Matip playing at right center back. He's done that multiple times before, just to give Van Dijk a rest whenever that's being necessary. But, then Gomez gets injured. Then you get Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in. Matip gets injured. And now you have two guys who haven't played in the system that have to, get up to date with the system because they actually came from the reserves. They didn't even come from first team training. And as a result, you're playing Fabinho, who knows the system better in central defense. So, he did the best he could under the circumstances. I think going out and signing Konaté like a few days after the season ended is fantastic. I think that's a good piece of business. For 35 million, he's a good young center back. He's quick, he's strong, he's physically imposing. He's a good passer of the ball. He runs well with the ball at his feet. And everything I've seen of him in preseason, I kind of really like. So, with a bit of time, I think he could be not the next Van Dijk, but obviously a good partner for someone like Gomez going forward. Now, I think Liverpool have solved that issue of do we have enough depth in defense? I think we do, 100%. I do think that going forward, one thing that Klopp will try to do is maybe play in a way where we play with two central defenders, central defensive midfielders, as opposed to just the one in Fabinho. That is something that we might see a bit more of this season, just so that we're able to rotate our midfield a bit more.
Are you happy with this summer's transfer so far? Do you
No.
think more could have been done? Do you think there was a plan going into it?
I think there was a plan. I think the initial plan was, let's get what we can in terms of central defense. We have a target. I think the deal for Konaté was probably looked at in January and was probably agreed to go through in the summer. And that's probably exactly what we saw happen. And then after that, it was about, Liverpool have a business model and a transfer model that's frustrating for fans because it depends a lot on outgoing player sales. Luckily, we've raised quite a bit of money. I do think Shaqiri and Origi will be leaving for around 10 to 15 million each. That's about to raise some transfer funds. So I do think Liverpool will make at least one signing, either in central midfield or somewhere up top, a player that can play two of those three positions up top. Or we'll get two signings, which is one of each. But I do think, we definitely need another player or two, for sure, especially given the window that the other teams have had.
Do you think there's a bit more? I think up top you definitely need someone. I think up top you need it more than in midfield. Because I think in midfield you've got a lot of good options. You've got Fabinho, you've got oh wait, you sold Wijnaldum, but you've got Thiago, you've got Henderson who's back as well. I definitely think you need someone to rotate between Mane and Salah. I
Yeah,
think that's what you need.
yeah, 100.
Do you think that last season was also like you got a lot of injuries because for a very long time there was a very high pressing system for Liverpool? Do you think there was some burnout there?
No, I honestly don't really believe that. I think, if you really look at the stats and stuff, there's not really been that much of a burnout. We didn't press a lot last season not because we were burnt out. It's because if we did press and they hit a ball over the top, they're pretty much clean through on goal because we don't have a Gomez or a Van Dijk that runs as quick as any striker can. So, we can't cover that space. We can't leave that space if we're going to be pressing up front. So we didn't press that much. And, that's always kind of been the case with Liverpool. If we're confident in the fact that we can outpace teams with the ball over the top and cover that space that's supposed to be dangerous, then we will press forward. And there's certain triggers and stuff, obviously, that actually initiate the press. But there was not a lot of that last season, and that's why you didn't really see a lot of goals for Liverpool either, because a lot of our goals are about sustained attacking and pressing pressure over and over again to force an opposition into mistakes, which then lead to clearer cut chances for our front three.
The frog in the boiling water. Slowly, slowly, just let the temperature go up. Eventually, you will get something action happening. The Van Dijk injury might have covered the systematic toll that you're talking about, Omar. Because of this, like the human nature is to take one answer or another, right? It might be a mix of both of these. And I feel at the beginning of last season, soon after VVD went down, I do feel they tried to continue with just, business as usual, high pressing. They realized what Gaurav is saying, anytime, over or under, the ball goes past the halfway line. It wasn't necessarily a goal, but it was trouble, which was also the case with United, by the way. Like completely random. Like going backwards, they look like schoolboys, and at times without VVD there, it looks schoolboyish, and that's why I do mention like his leadership, his presence is very important because even just vocally, it's still at least he can organize the troops on the ground.
I think it's not just, it couldn't just be that. It could be another factor as well. I think it was just because there were that many injuries as well. When there's that much upset of the balance to the team, it affects everything. Van Dijk is one piece of the puzzle, but then when you move Fabinho back from the midfield into the defense, that's another piece of the puzzle as well. So things start affecting it quite a lot. So we don't know whether it's the pressing issue that's over a few years, whether it's Van Dijk, whether it's all the injuries. We'll know more this season what Klopp's plan B could be or plan C could be. I think we can speculate, but we won't know really until the first few months of the season how it's going to play out.
Well, Gaurav, what is your expectation for Liverpool now as a whole, as a team? What are you going? Are you looking for trophies, titles? Like realistically, not like as a United fan, I'm telling you, we're looking for titles and trophies. But this season really is. I really do mean that. After the off season we've had, the pressure's on. Whereas with Klopp, it might be the opposite because there's been no action and he's got a returning injury. Very crucial part, and many injuries, not just that one, but that's the crucial. Again, you guys, the fans, might cut him enough slack where you're like, even this season, you know what? Let it be an off season. Maybe we finish fourth, even fifth, even. But then the season after that, he has to perform. Or what's going on through your head?
Look, I think like I understand when like other clubs fans talk about like cutting a manager some slack and stuff, right? But like you have to understand for Liverpool fans, this guy just made all our dreams come true. Like, and it wasn't that long ago, right? So like we're not just gonna cut him some slack. Like he's earned it. Like this guy is like a god to us, Like Jurgen Klopp, it means the world to every Liverpool fan.
The statue is happening eventually. Just wait for
Exactly.
retirement. Yeah, yeah.
Like he's as close to Shankly as we'll get in the modern day as Liverpool fans, right? So like for us, he gets all the time in the world, man. So if we're finishing in the top four, I think I'm happy. But at the same time, I'd love to see us actually contend for the title. It depends. Are we getting that one signing? Are we getting two signings? If we're getting one signing and it's someone that can compete with the front three for those spaces, then I'd expect for us to challenge for the title. If we're getting two signings, then I'd want us to get at least a trophy out of the season. Something like going really far in the Champions League, winning an FA Cup, contending for the title. For me personally, I want to finish top three, top two. I want to be the closest in terms of competing with City for the title. I think a lot of people are sleeping on Liverpool. Even the season where we won the title, every team around us got stronger. We signed no one except Harvey Elliott, and we ran away with the title. So there is something about our club that people sleep on over and over again, and that's absolutely fine by me. My prediction is top two and semi-final Champions League.
I think that a lot of people slept on Liverpool because historically, over the past 30 years, there was a lot of slip-ups. And Klopp came up and showed a level of consistency that we don't really associate with Liverpool. Not for the past 30 years. You would get some Champions League wins, and you had that period between 2005 to 2009 where you looked like you were on the cusp of something. You had the Champions League win, Champions League final, and you had a title run. So it looked like something was happening, and then obviously Roy Hodgson. I think with Klopp there is a bit more of trust in the process, but in a way that's not Arteta and Arsenal. Like you can actually genuinely trust the process. I don't know if Liverpool are going to be top two and top three this season, but if they do challenge, I think it will be a surprise, but also as well something that is not unexpected, if that makes sense. Like I don't expect it to happen this season, but I would probably expect it to happen next season. But again, Liverpool could surprise you. That's the thing that I would say. Not for
So
the title,
it
definitely for
basically
sure.
sounds like Klopp has reached, if nothing else, Wenger mode, where like
Yeah, he's
he's
Wenger
got
at
some
the
time.
Invincibles period. He's Wenger's the Invincibles period. He's not Wenger post Invincibles, which
Yeah.
was
I would even say he's pre-Invincibles. You know that post '98, he had those 4 years then
yeah.
to like just
Yeah.
lose, win, do what you want. You have 4 years, you won as the title. I feel like he's there now. In a couple years, he's gonna need that Invincible season to like cement, like, yo, I'm here forever. When I want to go, I'll go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jurgen Klopp also, like, if you really look at all of his previous like appointments, if you look at Mainz, if you look at Dortmund, you look at the fact that he stayed at 7 years each club, right? He's nearing 7 years at Liverpool as well. There's one thing that you have to love about this guy. He understands the meaning of legacy and leaving something behind that others can build on. And there seems to be like a succession plan in terms of Stevie G's contract with Rangers ends the same like a day after Jurgen Klopp's contract ends with Liverpool. So if that is kind of the transition, amazing. But Klopp's challenge now is to build that second team. He's built one amazing team that's won two of the biggest trophies that Liverpool fans could have desired. It's now, can he build that second team? Can he put together the pieces, the young pieces that are already there? For example, Trent, right? He is someone that Liverpool fans expect to stick around for a long time. Joe Gomez, and you've got other younger players as well coming through like Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott. Can he now build that second team with the likes of Jota and So let's see. That's kind of where his challenge is for the next 3 years. But it starts with August 15th, I think. Is that when the season starts?
14th.
14th, yeah.
Close enough. Whatever.
Okay. Whatever.
Omar, anything else to say? Wrap.
Well, I hope Liverpool get relegated. But yeah, that's just my dream.
Those days
No,
are
no,
gone.
I look, I will say that I think that just give Van Dijk a bit of time, because when you come back from an injury like this, it could take years. It could take for him, it could be just take a few weeks, he could come back into it, but just temper your expectations, give him time. If he makes mistakes, give him as much time as he needs, because that's not an injury that normally you come back from until recent medical progress changed that. But still, it could take time mentally to come back.
I'll end with the way this season United fans more or less cut a whole bunch of slack for Ole the entire season, saying, you know what, next season, this is the found. I think going into this season is Klopp's foundational year, where it's not an off year, it's a building year. There's a big difference. It's season two of any show. Season one was the wins, big Ned Stark ending. Season two is starting now with, like, after the injuries and stuff. I wish him the best. I really do like Klopp. I hate Liverpool. I hate Liverpool fans. The city's cool though. It's fun. It's my kind of city, grimy and stuff. Oasis shout out too. Not really. Um,
That's
yeah,
tough.
yeah. The Beatles. I know. I'm just um, you
No.
guys let us know VVD. What are the expectations for him? What are the expectations for Liverpool? Did they do enough in the transfer market? Did Klopp do enough? Does he have a plan? How long does he have before hashtag Klopp out or Gerard in? Whichever one we want, Gerard in.
I like Klopp
Um,
out though.
like, subscribe, comment. Thank these guys. Thank you, Gaurav, bro. We will see you next time on The Substitutes. Peace out.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.